Hello everyone, Science Viking here, and you might wonder why I'm a day late with this video. Well, the answer is, I lost an entire previous take to sound issues, so I'm doing this again. Well, I guess I'll chalk it up to a practice run. Anyway, why am I trapped in here? Hey, someone let me out! This is no way to treat a lady. Well, Aiko, you're no lady, let's just be honest. I hope Zidane and the others are alright. I'm sure they'll come back for me. So, how do you like the special sweets I reserved for each of you? By the way, Zidane is out running an errand for me in return for your safety. But I hate keeping promises. And I do so love deceit. So, I thought I would give you a special death to remember me by. My palace is home to a magnificent hourglass. As its sands fall, the floors of your rooms slowly open. Well, isn't it a fabulous idea? Your lives will be spared if the hourglass is reset. If Zidane comes back in time, that is. Oops, just 10 more minutes. Better start praying. Farewell, my sweet, lovable morons. What? Somebody help me! And Kuja apparently failed to notice that Sid was not escaped with Zidane when Zidane was let out of his cell. Or perhaps he did notice and just figured that the frog couldn't pose any meaningful threat. Well, we're gonna prove him wrong. Say, I reset the hourglass and locked it just because I was ordered to. What we're doing is wrong, isn't it? Wait, isn't that better than to stop functioning? Come on, let's go back. Turning off the trap again? I still don't understand how you do it. You basically have to turn them all on. You're just thinking too hard. Let's go. And now we're in control of our frog champion. That must be the key they were talking about, Ribbit. So we have to retrieve the key. We repeatedly tap the X button to move forward. But, if we move forward while the monster is facing towards us, the monster will roar, and Sid will be scared and leave the room, and we have to start over. Like that. I actually did that on purpose to demonstrate what happens when you move while the monster is looking at you. That's definitely the truth and not anything else. The main important thing with this puzzle is just to be patient. You have a lot more time than you need. And so the problem is if you're tapping the X button too quickly, you won't be able to stop it. And so you just kind of want to move forward slowly and patiently, so that you have time to react when the monster turns around and face you. Also, excuse me if I end up going a little quiet during this. This puzzle is kind of hard. And this is not the game that I signed up for. Whoa. That's the other thing. How long it stays facing either direction seems to be totally random. Which can be a bit of a problem. Alright, just be patient. It's best not to look at the timer. Yeah, and he'll occasionally do that where he'll turn around and turn immediately back around. The issue is there appears to be no way to predict that. And sometimes he'll just stay facing you for a really long time, hoping you get impatient. And sometimes you get almost there, and at the last moment you mess up and he turns red. I'll die if I don't get out. I wonder if that's better than to stop functioning. No, Vivi, trust me, you do not want to be turned into a mozzarella stick. Oh, if only I was a man again, I wouldn't fear that beast, Ribbit. Which I have to admit, this is an oddly specific security system. Like, if one of the prisoners has been turned into a frog, and then that frog prisoner has to try to get the key, then they'll be scared away by the monster. But if they haven't been turned into a frog and they're trying to get the key, then they'll have no problem at all. It's a really oddly specific situation that Kuja prepared for. I mean, if the monster isn't there to scare people away from stealing the key, what's it doing here? Why is there just a random monster in a cage in Kuja's palace? You know, on second thought, I do not want to know the answer to that. So, just... Yep. Just be patient. This does include one bit of frustration that was actually fixed in the PC version. In the original version, if you fail, if you run out of time, you get a game over, which will boot you back to before the fight with Ark. And if you didn't save before the fight with Ark, it will boot you back to before Oilvert. So, to the beginning of Oilvert, or whenever you last saved. So, you can potentially lose a lot of progress for failing at this game. The PC version fixed this because of the autosave function. From the title screen, if you select Continue, it will essentially drop you back at the last screen transition. So you can use the Continue function to retry this minigame after having gotten the game over. And for the first time in all of my time playing this game, I may actually end up doing that. I am doing rather poorly at this. But yeah, normally this would force you to repeat the fight with... In the PlayStation version, failing this would force you to repeat the fight with Ark. Oh no. What'll happen when I die? You gotta rub it in. Must you rub it in, game? Almost there. Almost there. Just a few more seconds. And now for the second half of the puzzle, because there is a second half and we have 30 seconds. So instead of demoing any of this, we need D, C, and B on the scale. Now, the explanation for this is there are 3 weights. We can place 3 of the 4 weights on the scale. The 3 weights we place have to equal or exceed Sid's weight. Now, 1 weight is made of wood, 1 is of clay, 1 is of stone, and 1 is of iron. And apparently I didn't make it. Well, let's try again. I guess I was wrong. I forgot. You can retry if you fail, without having to retry the fight with Ark. You only have to repeat the fight with Ark if you take a break and quit the game. Yeah, watch me epically failing for this. This is really not the game I signed up for. I was not prepared for this. And now I'm just on tilt or something because I keep getting ahead of myself. I'm doing the opposite of all the advice I was just giving all of you for how to do this. It also may surprise you, but I don't particularly care for this minigame. It's completely divorced from what this game is normally about. It doesn't actually make sense narratively for it to be here. It's just like they needed you to do something as Sid, and this was the best idea they could come up with. Solving a puzzle would make more sense because other dungeons have contained at least some puzzles that you have to solve. But this weird rhythm minigame that you have to do just doesn't really fit with the rest of the game. And I mean, that would be fine if it wasn't this hard, but I have a problem with a minigame like this being not optional, actually pretty difficult, and also completely divorced from the rest of the game. I mean, it would be bad enough if it was just optional but needed to get something important, but having to do it is rather frustrating. It is also funny that I actually do better when I start complaining about it. Okay, yep. Complaining was the key, apparently. Okay, so to go into this in a bit more detail, so Sid can put 3 weights on a dish, and then he can climb the scales to reach the hourglass. Let's examine the weights. This one is made of wood. This one is made of clay. This one is made of stone. I wanted to call that one the iron one. And this one is made of iron. So, we need to place the 3 heaviest weights on the scale, which is clay, stone, and iron. If we place the wood one on, it won't be enough weight, and Sid won't be able to climb up the scale. And climb onto the scales. Yeah, that's how close we were to succeeding last time. Yes, really. Now everyone should be alright, Ribbit. And for some reason, this also opens the cells and releases all of them. Not entirely sure why it does that. I thought I was a goner. Thank goodness we made it. Ah, you all made it, Ribbit. And they get to meet their mysterious benefactor. Mysterious and slimy benefactor. And it wasn't easy, mind you, but we've no time to celebrate, Ribbit. I heard from 2 black mages, Ribbit, that there's some kind of trap up ahead. They said you basically have to turn them all on, whatever that means, Ribbit. Let's hurry. That's right, we can't just rely on Zidane. We have to work together until Zidane gets back. We can do it if we stick together. And Aiko is essentially taking the lead in this situation. Because we have the 4 people we didn't take with us to Oilburn. And in here now is a Moogle. And the cage that is suddenly not scary at all, and we could easily have gotten here and disarmed the trap if a normal-sized person had been attempting to do so. So Kuja has a security system that would only stop a frog. And this Moogle, Mojito, has a log shop which sells exactly the same equipment as the one outside of Oilburn. Because you can have any combination of characters going into this dungeon, since it's just the 4 people you didn't take with you. You can't have Zidane, but you can have anyone other than Zidane in the party, so they give you a shop where you can buy equipment to properly equip characters you haven't been using. Anyway, well, first let's see if this Moogle has a letter for us, and he does. He wants us to deliver a letter to Mogsum. Aside from that, however, I am going to get us a fresh recording file in the hopes of warding off recording issues, seeing as this is already the third time I have had to do that minigame. I'd like to be done with it now. I will be back in a moment. Alright, I am back. I'm gonna quick tune up everybody's equipment a little bit. Aiko shouldn't be equipping the Sapphire. I'm switching her to the Ruby, I think. Actually, let's see who's gonna level up first. Aiko and Quina. In that case, I don't want Aiko equipping Ruby. I want her equipping something else. Let's see, the Dark Matter. Let's consider the Dark Matter. But this actually, I think I'll give her the Pumice piece. Yeah, the Pumice piece only gives her 1 fewer points of strength. And excuse me as I clear my throat a little bit. Alright. And then the Magician Robe. Magic Arm looks already good, and I believe Lamia's Tiara is the best she can do. Actually, no, the Mantra Band gives her the same stats, but better evasion. Right. I'm not giving Quina the Dark Matter. Given Quina's utterly pathetic speed, I think the running shoes would actually be pretty good. Combined with the Silk Robe, Magic Armlet is good, but the Mantra Band would be an improvement. And I'm actually giving the Dark Matter to Dagger, because the Dark Matter teaches her a new ability, the ability to summon Odin. I'm also going to rearrange the rest of her a little bit for ability's sake. I'm not giving her the Gaia gear yet, though. And she may as well have a Mantra Band if she's already learned all of the abilities from all of the headpieces she could be equipping. And the Magic Racket. That just leaves Vivi, who is trading in his Oak Staff for the Cypress Pile. The bandana for the mages. You know what? No, his magic stat is already quite high. I'll stick with the bandana. And the Silk Robe for the Gaia gear, which teaches him Osmos. Osmos has the ability, gives him the ability to absorb MP from enemies. This is quite helpful. So what else could he learn? I'll have him start learning Auto Life. Now, if you are playing through like I have been and have been doing Chocobo Hot and Cold, you have a huge number of ethers to restore people's MP, so Osmos is less impressive. If you don't have that, then Osmos is one of the few ways you can reliably restore MP, and is thus exceedingly useful. It really comes down to how much patience you have, I suppose. And we are in the Desert Palace. And we light this candle up here. And lighting this candle causes this to light up. This is a Bloodstone. Offering of Power. Faithful Paladin. Extract the power to nullify elemental properties from the ring. Inspect the Bloodstone. And we receive the Promised Ring, which, if we were to equip it to Vivi, would teach him the ability Mag LM Null. I'm not sure, because I've never really tested it, whether it causes all magic to be non-elemental or makes him immune to elemental magic. I'm honestly not sure exactly what that does. I've never really used it much. But that's one of the ways that this dungeon works, and let's interact with this statue. Illusion of the Goddess. The path will open when the lamp is lit. And these things are making a loud noise and looking at us as we walk. But Truth of the Devil. The Bloodstone is proof of his power. Hide the light with your hand. Rather a helpful hint. The Bloodstone is the promise of the evil god. The Bloodstone is the source of his power. Each color holds different powers. Wait a second. Yes, if we run far enough... I thought it was the other way. If we run far enough this way, a staircase opens up. We actually need to go through there. For some reason, I thought running this way was what triggered the staircase. Anyway, the way the Bloodstones work is they pertain to the boss of this area. That boss
receives a power-up from each bloodstone in the dungeon. So for instance, that one nullifies magic elements, another one increases his defense, another one increases his magic power, etc. Each bloodstone that you disable gives you a piece of equipment with an effect similar to whatever the bloodstone itself would have done, and also gives you, Control VV, let's use Fire Up for now, and also gives you a piece of equipment that does fundamentally the same thing. So if you disable few of the bloodstones, then the boss will be exceedingly dangerous. But if you disable the majority of the bloodstones, the boss won't really be that hard. And now let's try out Dagger's new Eidolon, Odin. This is the thing that destroyed Clara. Also, you'll notice these enemies can flip over. If the red head is up, they attack with physical and are weak against magic. If the blue head is up, they attack with magic and are weak against physical. This is challenging because pretty much the entire team is magic users right now, though we do have Quina. Aiko really should know Loudmouth. And this is Odin's unique ability, Zantetsuke. Grab an echo screen. We have 48 of them. Definitely looks cool. And this ability instantly kills all enemies some of the time. The problem is it's not guaranteed to hit. I believe its accuracy is actually tied to Dagger's magic stat, but I'm not exactly sure how it's calculated. Alright, I'm just going to keep Dagger equipping the, what's it called? Oh, we got a Topaz. I'm going to keep Dagger equipping the Dark Matter since it gives her a pretty good stat boost when she levels up. Also, the main significance of the Pumice piece is that it teaches the ability Boost. Boost increases the power of Eidolons when they are summoned. Costs a lot of magic stones because it's actually a very useful ability, but I'm not equipping it just yet. I mainly want to switch Aiko over to having Loudmouth equipped, but she can still have ability up. And let's see, Vivi needs something that will give him a good stat boost that can go in his accessory slot. Let's see, a further 2 to magic would be good. I'll let Quina keep the running shoes for now. Combined with switching over to... Who has the magician cloak right now? I think Aiko does. She doesn't need it because she's not about to level up. So she gets the silk robe, so that Vivi can have the magician cloak. He's otherwise good equipment-wise. And as for Dagger, I believe she also is, because she doesn't really have any abilities to learn except for from accessories. But yeah, Odin is kind of marginally useful. He's definitely not bad, but there's a lot of risk because if it doesn't instantly kill an enemy, it will cause no damage. And we need to light that lamp. If we miss this lamp and just proceed through the rest of the dungeon, we have to come all the way back here later because we can't take on the boss unless that lamp is lit. It's very easy to miss. But going this way, we make it into this room, where we immediately can't really do anything. Except we can light these lamps. Lighting this lamp opens this door. And lighting this lamp opens the corresponding door. But there's one other lamp we need to light. Right here. It doesn't immediately do anything. But we can go back through here. Now if we light this lamp, it actually closes the door that was open before. Now, this might seem like a problem, because we need all of the lamps to be lit to actually open the exit. However, there's a process to this. First we light this lamp, and that causes one set of statues to disappear. Now we go back through to the other side. And we light this one, which immediately does nothing. But when it is paired with this lamp, the other set of statues disappear. If we were to come down here, we can't interact with this one at all, yet. But now, since we can cross the room the normal way, we can light these two lamps. And now that every other lamp in the room is lit, we can light this one. Doing so activates a bloodstone, and also opens that door. Faithful Paladin, extract magic from the chain. Inspect the bloodstone. And we receive an anklet. Let's see what all the anklet can do. It teaches some okay abilities. The main thing is it gives a boost to magic upon level up. I suppose it was the best idea they could come up with. That's the bloodstone that enhances the boss's magic power. Since the boss primarily attacks with magic, leaving that bloodstone active is very dangerous. And having just received a bloodstone and solved the puzzle, you may be tempted to just run through this hallway immediately. But there's something we have to interact with first. We light this candle so that all 3 candles are lit, and it activates this bloodstone that was hiding in the background. Offering of Power. Faithful Paladin, extract the strength to resist from the armor. I actually missed this one on my first playthrough. This is the one that grants the boss physical defense. And you see, my first playthrough of this game, this area and Oilvert were a bit of an ordeal. Because being the dumb kid that I was, I didn't really notice the comment about Oilvert being inside of an anti-magic field. So the team that I sent to Oilvert was Zidane, Amarant, Vivi, and Aiko. So half of my team going through Oilvert were mages in an area where no one can use magic. That went very, very bad. Now, if we interact with these, we can't light, even though these are candles, we can't light them yet. Because, well, you'll see. But also, this meant that when I was going through Desert Palace, I had... First, if we light this candle, we have stairs. When I was going through the Desert Palace, my team was Steiner, Freya, Dagger, and Quina. And I missed the Bloodstone that gives the boss physical defense. So, I'm fighting a boss that has, like, has 90% resistance to physical attacks, with a team whose only good attacks are physical. Dagger is the only magic user really in that party to any significant degree. That was a long fight. And if we light this candle, it causes this bookshelf to raise up, allowing us to go through here and retrieve a bloodstone, extracting the power to dodge from bracing, giving us a Nakai armlet. Though we actually already had one of those, I believe. I have Vivi equipped with a magic armlet because he's about to level up, but the Nakai armlet teaches him the spell Water. It's actually a pretty good offensive spell, though it will be outclassed fairly quickly. But now that that bookcase has been lifted up, we can lift this one, revealing another door. This leads to a stairwell and a brief detour. Lighting here, and continuing further up, to light here, and seemingly project stained glass onto a screen. I'm gonna be honest, I really like the puzzles in this area. They seem really neat. I really didn't like them when I was a kid, because I always got stuck here, but looking at them now, these are fun puzzles. I enjoy them. But now, we can open up the lowermost one. And going through, it gives us access to another candelabrum. And that candelabrum reveals to us a Moogle. This Moogle is Mogsum. We can give Mogsum a letter from Mojito. From Mojito to Mogsum. A According to rumors, Stiltskin is on a quest to find out why Mognet stopped functioning. I'm sure Stiltskin will find out the truth, Kupo. Why did Artemisian stop delivering mail? There must be a reason, Kupo, and we will get to the bottom of this mystery. No, seriously, we will. That's actually a side quest that you can do later in the game, and I actually plan on doing it. But for now, we just need to get through Desert Palace, and once again, as an offering to the gods of sound issues, I am going to get us a fresh recording file before we proceed. I will be back in a moment. Alright, I am back. I have confirmed there weren't sound issues in the previous part, though I suppose you already knew that, and have a lovely fresh recording file for the final push. And this is an interesting place. We start by lighting up these two candles. Lighting the first one gives us an interesting shadow image of a devil chasing something. And now, when we light the second one, we receive a bloodstone. Offering of power. Extract the strength to resist magic from the hat. The Black Hood. Let's see what that can do for us. Not a whole lot. It would teach Vivi Death, which is an okay spell. It instantly kills an enemy, but as with the Odin summon, has the issue of not having the best accuracy. And now we turn this candle off and proceed through here. And we run across on a platform we actually saw earlier. And we light these three. Well, that's unsettling. But otherwise, the candles in this area operate in fundamentally the same manner as the candles in the previous area. And there's a reason why the camera keeps panning over to the statue of the devil and the shadow cast by it. After we retrieve this bloodstone, obtaining the power to dodge magic from the shield, but bloodstones are all well and good, but we don't have the ability to proceed any further. Well, the solution is to extinguish this candle. Extinguishing this candle creates an image in the shadows of an angel fleeing being chased by a demon. Creating that image is what reveals the staircase. And we are essentially finished. So, I'm going to quick climb up here. However, you have to actively trigger the boss fight by interacting with the last candelabra. Before I do that, I'm going to rearrange the equipment a bit. I want Aiko to have the ruby that teaches the Eidolon Carbuncle and Reflect. You may remember we received this ruby outside of the Iphitry. From this is the Eidolon that was used to seal Leviathan away. And for Vivi, I want to trade the magic armlet for the Nikai armlet, so that he can use water. And also, I will equip the Aquamarine to Dagger, giving her access to Leviathan. Since this is a boss fight, it doesn't grant experience points, only ability points. No one can level up. We may as well focus on getting good abilities. And now, we light the candelabra. Intruder alert. Defense system activated. Initializing automatic countermeasures. Transferring from observation to attack mode. Huh? That's not Kuja's voice. Who's there? Come out and show yourself. That is the boss. When it loads. Yep, we're fighting a giant monolith. Enhancing defense systems. Detecting active bloodstones. Failed to disable elemental attacks. Magic power enhancement failed. Defense enhancement failed. Evasion enhancement failed. Magic defense enhancement failed. Magic evasion enhancement failed. Enhancement through bloodstones failed. Well, ain't that a kick in the crotch? Yeah, even one Bloodstone being active can make this boss fight very hard. Now let's check out Leviathan, one of Dagger's several new Eidolons. And I'm actually going to hold off on having Vivi cast it yet, for reasons I'll get to in a moment. In the meantime, I'm going to have Aiko cast Cura on everyone, just to make sure that everyone's HP is topped up, while we watch the amazing Leviathan cutscene. And yes, this boss did just use Fire God. This thing has access to 3rd tier spells. That makes it rather a dangerous opponent. Let's see how it deals with this, though. I don't have Dagger summon Leviathan again, because how do I pronounce things again? Valiapira is in fact weak against water. That's the main utility of getting the Nakai armlet in this dungeon. Vivi now has a spell that the boss is weak against. Of course, another thing worthy of note, other than the fact that I apparently can't speak, is the fact that every attack that this boss uses is elemental magic, which can be reflected. So let's summon Carbuncle and see what it does. Those of you who are long-term fans of this series already know what Carbuncle does. As for the rest of you, observe. Using the spell of Ruby Light. Ruby Light casts Reflect on the entire party. In addition, it appears to have... It has also cast Shell on the entire party in addition to Reflect. I think it has a chance of casting other status effects in addition to Reflect. But it always casts Reflect. Which means now, whenever the boss tries to attack us, we regain hit points. The other usefulness of this is that the boss actually knows Reflect, and will occasionally cast Reflect on itself. But once a spell has been reflected, it cannot be reflected again. So the boss can, if the boss casts Reflect on itself, you have Aiko cast Reflect on one or all of your party members, and then the boss will, and then you can use magic by bouncing it off of your own characters. So the boss has cast Reflect on itself. So allow me to demonstrate this. Well, in a moment. Oh, right, it's hovering, it's immune to Earth. That was a complete waste. And another mechanic that's going on right now, command failed, Dagger can't concentrate. Because of her depression over what happened with Bahamut destroying Alexandria, Dagger is rather depressed right now. It's the same and so, in addition to causing her to be mute, she has difficulty focusing in combat, and will occasionally skip her turn instead of attacking because of it. Essentially, her resolve was tested and she came out hopeless. But like any other good hero, she's still fighting and is doing her best, she just loses her turn occasionally because of her affliction. It'll take some time for her stress level to get low enough that she can fully recover. And we're about to get hit by Thundaga. And Vivi's down. Well, fortunately we have 2 white mages in the party. And this time all that was cast was Reflect. And apparently my luck from Darkest Dungeon is just carrying over into here. As soon as I say that Dagger is doing a really good job not losing her turn, she loses a turn. Well, either way we won. terminating defense system. And Aiko apparently got the last hit on it. Or something. And Quina has finally mastered High Tide, not that it matters terribly much. I might quick put Vivi back together. There we go. And now, we light the candelabrum, and that creates a teleporter. Meanwhile, finally made it back. Well, no rest for the wicked. I gotta get moving. Let's see, what equipment changes should we make? Not too many. Honestly, I don't think we really need to make any. We'll probably run into 1 or 2 enemies while we're here, but not too many. It is also kind of funny that I've done 3 takes of Desert Palace, and in every take we have exactly 1 random encounter. Never more than 1, but always 1. It's been kind of funny. And here we apparently have no enemies. Well, I suppose it makes Zidane's job easier, at least. And we came out of a different teleporter than we got into. What the? Where are we now? Did I take a wrong turn? Welcome back. I'm inside the room past the stairs. But I want you to come alone, Zidane. Alone. Zidane, it is surely a trap. Proceed with caution. Yeah, tell me about it. That'll be okay. You guys just wait here. Come inside. At this point, Zidane's probably getting used to large doors just opening for him as soon as he walks up to them. I'm so happy to see you again, Zidane. My friends better be alright. Oh my, blunt as always, I see. Take a look in there. No need to worry. They just needed some rest, that's all. Now give me the Gulug Stone. I wonder how the others are doing. Why, if something happened to the princess, I don't know what I would do. Well, good news, Steiner. She's okay. Huh? Where's Zidane? You went alone to Kuja's chamber, but how did you escape? Actually, there's no time. We gotta stop Zidane. Sid is just not gonna get his moment of glory for this one. And the door stays open as the team files in one by one until... Ah! Yeah, the door closes at exactly the right moment to shut Aiko out. Aiko, be wary of clowns. Now give me the Gulug Stone. You bastard! You're the worst scum alive! I grow weary of your tantrums. Well, will you hand it over or not? Don't give it to him, Zidane! Huh? So who's inside this cage? Oh dear, I wasn't expecting this. That's right, the ones inside are fake. But don't think you've won yet. What do you mean by that? Ah! Leave me alone! Aiko?
Ribbit! I'll protect you! What a freak! This frog can speak! Frog that goes squish, you'll make a fine dish!
Well... Ribbit. Well, he tried. I'm gonna give him credit for that, at least. And Kuja has managed to steal the Gulug Stone while we were all paying attention to something else. I wanted to finish you off after getting the Gulug Stone and killing all of your friends. Instead, I'll just take the girl. I hope we meet again. Won't respond. He plans to flee on the Hildegard. Let's get him. And now we get to create our team. I'm gonna go with Steiner, Vivi, and Dagger, along with Zidane. I do want to bring a white mage, even if she's afflicted right now. And having Vivi and Steiner in the party together means we can use sword magic. Which means we're actually back to the original team from the first time we had 4 people. And I'm switching Vivi back to the magic armlet. That magic power boost is not to be trifled with. Also, someone who is not currently in the party is, I believe, actually equipping the running shoes, which means that they're not available to be equipped to someone else. At some point, I'm going to have to take all the equipment off of people who are not currently in the party so that I can distribute it properly. But for now, we'll work with what we got. Switching Dagger back over to the Dark Matter. I believe it actually gives better stat bonuses than the Pumice piece. Indeed it does. Only slightly, but it does. In addition, while I'm probably not going to use Odin too much, I do actually want Dagger to master that Eidolon. And if we hop back on the teleporter we used to get here, well, if we stand in the right place anyway, but it's worth noting, you can actually get back on this teleporter and go back into the dungeon. And go back through Desert Palace with a normal team. There's really not much reason to do so unless you missed a treasure chest or something. But you can do it. But instead we run back through the dock the other way again, marking our 3rd trip through this area. And we find that the Hildegard is left already. Damn it, he got away. We can still follow him on the Blue Narcissus. Great minds think alike. Let's go, people. And conveniently, there's this rope ladder right here that, once we hit the switch, we can use to climb down. Also conveniently, rather than forcing us to walk through the overworld to where our ship is, it just fades to black and fades back in when we're in our ship, following Kuja. Yeah, there's not really anything we can do about it, but we're gonna chase him. Though I suppose if we got close enough, maybe Freya could, like, jump up into the Hildegard and perform, like, a boarding action or something. But I'm not really convinced that she could seize the airship by herself. She is tough, but I don't know that she's that tough. You headed towards some weird-looking structure. Is there something beyond there? What the hell is Kuja up to? Why did he take Aiko? His motives are unclear, Ribbit. The girl can summon Eidolons too, Ribbit? Yeah. That's it. He's probably after her for the same reason he was after Dagger. Really, really not what she needed to hear right now. Don't worry, Dagger. We're not going to let him have his way. Kuja's got a lot to answer for. And it gives us another opportunity to rearrange the party. But I'm going to stick with the team we've got for now. And we're back on the world map in a continent that we have definitely never visited before and definitely haven't already been digging for treasure in before. I said before too many times in that sentence. Well, anyway, now that we've resolved the situation from the Desert Palace and gotten ourselves into an entirely different kind of trouble, this is going to be the end for this part. Thank you all for watching. As usual, I love you all, and I will see you next time. Hello, everyone. Science Viking here, and you may wonder why we're back in Oilvert. Well, the answer is, I, in my infinite wisdom, accidentally lost my save data from after I finished Oilvert, and ended up having to do Oilvert again. So, I've done most of it off screen, and we're ready to confront Ark. I want to show what happens if you don't have clear-headed equipped on anyone. Now, quick, make sure it's not equipped on anybody. Let's see. Yep, Zidane doesn't have it, and Steiner doesn't have it. And does Freya have it? She does not. I mean, she's mastered it, but she isn't equipping it. And how about Amarant? And still no. He doesn't even have it. I'd have to equip special equipment for him to have it. I am equipping an MP attack, though. And let's try it now. This is probably going to be bonus footage at the end of whichever episode I do this for. So, you've probably already seen the events of Desert Palace as you're watching this. So, now just quick watch Viking do something stupid. Yep, this is what Kuja was harping about. Time to head back, and apparently Zidane has a sixth sense or something that the Ark is coming down. You know, you could have done this, and by the end of the boss fight, we're probably going to be wishing that you had done this. You could have just grabbed the Gulug Stone and run. Maybe you should have did that. Alright, Steiner has the Blood Sword, which doesn't inflict very much damage. That's actually a good thing. Also, yeah, that's actually going to be helpful, because Steiner can snap people out of confused. The issue is, well, one of the issues is that I forgot to use the tent before this boss fight, so everyone's already marginally injured. But since everyone is susceptible to confuse, we're going to have instances where everyone is confused. Once Freya lands, we're going to have to set up Raise Wind. We're going to need it. I'm also not even attempting to steal because, frankly, I need all the help I can get in even finishing this fight under these circumstances. Zidane having counter-equipped is helpful, though. And Amarant also has counter-equipped, though his failed to trigger. I would really like to get Raise Wind in before it gets another turn, but that might not happen. Oh, here we go. So let's show off Throw. We have some Rising Suns. They have no other use, so we may as well throw them here. And Propeller Wind. Here we go. Fortunately, Steiner is the first one to get an action, and he missed himself. Okay, Freya snapped Zidane out of it. Thing is, I can't use Zidane or Amarant to snap people out of confusion because they inflict too much damage. But yeah, only one person is under our control, or under my control right now. And not only that, but Whirlwind is a magic attack. It doesn't snap people out of confusion. Why is everyone missing Steiner, including himself? I mean, I know he has the ability to distract, which reduces the accuracy of incoming physical attacks, but he doesn't have it equipped. Why is his evasion that high? Okay, Propeller Wind missed Zidane at least. Though Steiner has had pretty good confusion luck so far, which is actually kind of bad because I need him to snap other people out of confusion. Okay, Steiner, go wake Amarant up. Oh, never mind, Boomerang. So it inflicts confusion on the entire party and then cures confusion on the entire party. Here's Chakra on Amarant. And yep, Raise Wind is worn off, so we need to fix that. This is honestly going better than I thought. By which I mean, we're not dead yet! I was expecting to have lost by now, honestly. Well, let's see how far this goes. Let's see if we can win this. Though part of that is the fact that Amarant's physical attack is consistently doing a cool 1200 damage. And Zidane is about to be knocked out, I think. Yep. That's the end of him. And since he's... I forgot he had auto life. I forgot that Zidane had auto life. And now Amarant is wasting a turn reviving him. Oops. Oh, Zidane's gonna quick heal him. Okay, Photon can't actually knock someone out. Reduces their HP to 1. And Raise Wind. And yep, Freya's in trance, not that her trance ability is especially useful. Well, let's keep it up with throwing Rising Suns at people. And I'm just going to use a High Potion to get Zidane off of Death's Door before Freya recasts Raised Wind. As you can see, though, things are going substantially worse than they were. Of course, the Arc would be even more dangerous if it actually used its abilities to their fullest potential. If it, as a rule, only uses, if it were to only use Boomerang when only one or none of your people are confused, so it uses Propeller Wind and then only uses Whirlwind after it's confused everyone, that would be terrifying. Okay, looks like it did miss Zidane. And Freya did just miss Steiner. And Amarant... Amarant has been pretty good. He's been pretty consistent about attacking Arc even when he's confused. But you see, this is an example of the Arc being kind of stupid. It just confused 3/4 of us, and it just snapped 3/4 of us out of confusion. And that is the end of that. So you see, the fight is manageable without Clear-Headed. It's just considerably harder. And I think we're a bit higher level than you would usually be for taking on this area because of all the side questing. So, yeah, without Clear-Headed, the fight is manageable, but either way, it is still very hard, and so, really, you want to equip Clear-Headed. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the bonus footage for this part, so, thank you all for watching. I love you all, and I will see you next time.